But here we are, right? So again, this is our 21st day. We have made it to this great milestone. What a blessing it was to be able to go on this journey with you. I just came in from church. It is raining so hard here in Houston, and but I was determined to be in this space so I can get in your face and just say I'm so proud of each and every one of you that made it, that came on here with me for 21 days. I can't thank you enough. No idea what you have done for me. This has been a challenge for me. In the pandemic, I suffered from imposter syndrome so bad. Now, I'm a journalist. My life has been either in front of the camera, on camera, doing broadcasts, interviewing people. I've had a long career in radio. This has been my life. My degrees in mass communication, and I've taught for years public speaking. But if I tell you that the adversary had me so gripped with fear, could not get in front of a camera. Yeah. And it was so, I remember calling my friends, I had this conversation with Angela, and I was telling her that what was, what I was going through. And it was just impossible to believe. But when you have a calling on your life, and when God knows that you will stand for Him and you will not water it down, you will not give anybody else praise or glory, and there are so many people whose lives that you can read with your story and what He's brought you through, He will try to grip you with fear. He will try to cripple you, and He will do anything that He can to stop what God has ordained. But I tell you today, you all have blessed me. You all have blessed me. I did 21 days without fail, only by God's grace, because some of those days were really, really challenging for me. And if He calls you to it, what He gonna do? He's gonna bring you through it. And that's what He's done today. And I am a better person for it. And I have, my sisters and my brothers for meeting me here and giving me cause to share this fast with you. So we have arrived at the 21st day. You all should celebrate and give yourselves a hand clap. I'm so grateful that we've done this. But I want to say this, just as our pastor shared with us just a few minutes ago. Just because it's the 21st day doesn't mean that the fast, has to be over in our lives. Let us be mindful to adapt a spirit of fasting regularly in our lives, right? Not just waiting for the 21-day fast at your church or whatever, but making certain that we have that time with God, that sacrifice, because if we want God to continue to do greater things in our lives, we have to make certain that we are spending more time with Him in His Word, right? And so I make a vow to myself that I am going to make certain to do this more often. I haven't decided. That the pastor did give some great examples of some of his friends that they fast every 3 days of each month, preparing and offering that month to God. I love that idea. And then he also mentioned that he had a friend fast every Wednesday of every week. I love that idea too. So I'm going to seek God's counsel and see which direction He would have me to go. But I do know this, that this is going to be a regular part of my walk with God, is to fast more often than I have ever done before. I love y'all. And again, thank y'all for coming and spending this time with me. We have had amazing prayer focuses every day. And we started out, we started on the 6th of January. And here we are at the 21st day. But the first day was on consecration. The second prayer focus was guidance. The third was strength. The fourth was sanctify yourself. The fifth was freedom from condemnation. And the sixth was wisdom in parenting. Seventh prayer focus was household salvation. Eighth was marriage. The ninth, finances and provision. The 10th, career. The 11th, pastors. The 12th, protection. The 13th was health. The 14th prayer focus was worship. The 15th was release, restoration, reward. The 16th was revival. The 17th day prayer focus was victory. The 18th day's focus was prayer. Then compassion. Then waiting on God. That was yesterday, and that was so powerful. It was so good. And here we are, the 21st day. We are going to see what God says about the lost, right? So, as we always do, we define what these things are so that we can have a clearer and a more broader understanding, right? So lost is defined as unable to find one's way, not knowing one's whereabouts. Okay? Anyone ever been lost? That when you are lost, that can be a scary time. It can cause you great anxiety not to know where you are. Many of us have taken wrong turns in our quest to reach a destination, right? Our GPS sometimes have failed us, or we were trying to commit a destination to memory and found ourselves not being as clear on those directions as we thought we were, and we became lost. Now, let me tell you something. If you are anything like me and all 5 of my sisters, we are geographically dysfunctional. We get lost all the time. But you know what? Our mother was like the geriatric GPS. This woman could find her way anywhere. And all of her children depended upon her to give us direction and find our way, right? I'm telling you, the first thing up, if we get lost, we call mama. I'm over such and such and such and such. And I've been going around and around. And my mom, she would just calmly say, now, Duke, that's my nickname my mom called me. Duke, now, calm down, Duke. Now, get on Highway 59. And you're going to go a couple of exits and you're going to see Homestead. And when you take Homestead, you're going to turn right and you're going to do this and you're going to do that. And then she can get you she could tell you how to get somewhere and never hit the freeway. She knew all of the back roads. She knew Houston, Texas like the back of her hand. And I'm telling you, it is shameful to say, but we depended on her for it, right? Forgive me because I came in here rushing and I did not put on Do Not Disturb. And now, I cannot believe this. I cannot believe this. I cannot believe this. I cannot believe this has happened. And Juanita would be the one to call me. You know I just left you at church. Juanita, stop calling me. This totally knocked me off here on YouTube. All right. Help me, Jesus. Because I cannot put it on Do Not Disturb now that the live is on. Or can I? Let me try. I don't know what to do. Put Do Not Disturb on. It worked. So forgive me for that, but I fixed it. So, so anyway, but going back to just stressing how we depended on my mom for directions all of our lives, right? So is it the same way with our Father. We can depend on Him for directions when we are lost. Just as we were faithful in calling our mom, when you are God's child, you depend on Him to find you when you are lost, don't we? Lost can mean so many things, right? And we want to see what the word has to say about being lost, right? So we know that, let's see. So we have, I like to give you a little, scriptural snack pack so that you can be able to go back and in your studies and find what God has to say about the various prayer focuses that we've had. And so we are, excuse me here one second. What did we do here? No, we want that. All right, here we are. So we have Isaiah 41 and 10. We have Psalms 34 and 18. The third one, Matthew 11, 28 through 30. And then we have Jeremiah 29 and 11, right? And then we will go into the scripture that we have reserved for our prayer focus. So Isaiah 41 and 10 says, "Do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you and help you. I will uphold you with my righteous hand." This verse reminds us that even in times of feeling lost, God is present and offers unwavering support for us. All right? Ain't that a blessing? Let's look at what the psalmist David has to say about loss. Psalms 34 and 18. "The Lord is close to the brokenhearted and saves those who are crushed in spirit." Now, this verse brings comfort to those who are feeling broken, crushed in spirit, and lost. When you feel broken, crushed in your spirit, you are at a loss. You feel a loss, right? Disconnected, broken. It also assures us that God is near. When you're lost, you want to be near to finding a way out. You want to be near to finding the exit that's going to get you where you really supposed to be, right? So it assures us that God is near to us in our pain and offers solace and salvation in our moments of feeling lost and disconnected. Isn't that beautiful? So Matthew said in 11, 28 through 30, it says, "Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and humble in heart, and you will find rest for your souls, for my yoke is light." Yes, indeed. So here this verse provides an invitation, an invitation from Jesus himself to those who are feeling weary and to those who are feeling burdened, to those who are lost. He offers rest for our souls and assures us that following him, follow me, come on, you're lost. Hear my voice. If you hear my voice, you can find your way out. Come on, you're lost. If you follow me, hear my voice, listen to me, follow my instruction. Come on, you're in darkness. I'm about to bring you out. Just listen to me. He says, those who are feeling weary and burdened, he offers assurance. If you follow him, he'll bring ease and lightness to our lives. He is the beacon. He is the one who brings forth deliverance from darkness, from our being lost and not knowing where we are. Sometimes that is true of our faith walk. We get lost. We get burdened. The definition says that you are unable to find your way. And that's what happens to us. We fall short. Mistakes happen. Life happens. Hardships happen. A broken heart happens. Losses happen. And some things just devastates us and rocks us to our core, right? And we are at a state of loss. We don't know where we are. We can't find our way. The definition says we don't know our whereabouts. We have lost our wits. Lost. And needing to find our way back. When we are lost in our faith, we are not alone. We know who's always waiting for us when we have lost our way. God the Father is waiting for us to come, ask for help, ask for guidance, ask for his help in finding our way out, asking him to be our navigation system out of our lost state. So Jeremiah said in 29:11, said, for I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not harm you, plans to give you hope and a future. This verse reminds us that God has a plan for our lives. They say if you want to make God laugh, tell us the plans that you have for your life. We cannot even begin to plan for our lives. We think we can. We have good ideas of what we think and want it to look like. But if you are his, he has a plan for your life. You what? I don't know. I don't want any other navigation system except for God and what his plan is for my life. Because I've been known to mess up a few things. I've been known to mess up what I thought should work, what I thought should be working and going on in my life. So I go and I try to make it happen. I try to orchestrate that thing. And I tell you what, I know it don't look like it kind of cute, but I've fallen on my face a whole lot of times. And when you fall on your face, those bruises that you get, what happens when you decide that you know better than God, what the plan is for your life. Ooh, but if we just decide to get out of our own way, there is absolutely light waiting for us, right? There is light that is waiting for us. We decide to allow God to be the navigator, the orchestrator, the architect of our lives, right? So even when we feel lost, he reminds us that, hey, remember, I'm the one that's planning the future for you. Come on over here. Come over here. This is where the path is. Remember, I'm a light unto your path. I'm a lamp unto your path and light unto your path. I am that. I have the lamp. I have the light. You can't see without me. All right? So it assures us that his plans are good. His plans are good for the good stuff. It's the good stuff. And they are full of hope. His plans are full of hope. Y'all, I am so excited about what God did in my life just this morning before I left. I have been seeking God's counsel for guidance in an area in my life. And you know how you can feel like it's like waking up in this melanin, right? If you wake up in this melanin, you are blessed with an abundance of gifts. You have talents beyond measure. And then you can find yourself, you can do this and you can do that, you can do this and you can do that, and they call you to do this and that and the other and blah, blah, blah. And you find yourself everywhere till sometimes you feel that you're nowhere. Sometimes you feel lost in your own creativity, right? And I find myself in that place, right? And I was just asking God to send the right thing. Sometimes it's not the what, I've learned it's the who that God needs to send you. And but if I tell you, God did that for me. He did that for me. And I'm telling you, in the midst of this fast, we are sowing, right? We're sowing. But the preacher said today that we all hear you reap what you sow. But if you are a king's kid, you reap while you're sowing. Yes, indeed. Baby, if I tell you that was a shout moment today, and I received it because God is moving. And he's moving expeditiously, right? He really is. You have been waiting, my child. You have been lost, but I found you today. I sent you direction today, and that's what he will do for us. That's what he is capable of doing, my loves. And I don't have no better sense than to trust him at his word on my behalf. I know he'll do it. And sometimes it doesn't make sense. Sometimes you question it because we're so filled with doubt and mistrust. And it will hold us back. God will send it to us and we'll reject it every time. Oh, that's not going to work. That's a scam. I don't believe that. We'll talk ourselves out of our blessing every time. He'll put it right in our face and we'll ourselves out of it. And sometimes I want you to understand this. Sometimes God is moving in your life and trying to bring you out of a lost state. Be quiet. Y'all hear me back there? Be quiet. Because everybody's not going to understand the move of God in your life. The naysayers, the doubters, they will help contribute to talking you out of God's blessings for you. Move in silence. Don't tell everybody every move you make. Don't tell when God is speaking to you, when you are trying to hear from him. Sometimes we remembered yesterday, quietly. Yeah, sometimes it has to be in quietness that we follow the instruction of God. It's not always meant to be shared right away. Go on in, allow God to mold that thing, work that thing out. The bumps and the bruises that you're gonna go through when he's bringing you out of darkness. You've been in the dark trying to find your way to the bathroom in a pitch black dark, stump your toe, bump your knee, and thought you knew your way, and you holding on to stuff because you're in the dark. That's the same way when God is bringing you out. When he is bringing you out of darkness, when he is trying to bring you into that moment of transformation, in that season of transformation, you're going to bump into stuff. You might get a bruise or two. You might get a setback. You might not understand the process. What God is taking you through. Be quiet. You don't need anybody reminding you, I told you. See there? See what happened? I told you. Just because some setback happened don't mean God ain't called you to it. You got to be in the making of a testimony too, you know. So I feel good about where God is, what he's bringing me out of. And the hiccups gonna come. I know it. And I'm preparing myself to go through with all of the grace I can muster. Because this is God's doing. This is God's calling, right? And so when we are being brought out of that state, we have to know that it's still full of hope. It's still good because God navigating you. God is ordering your steps in this season, right? So if it's full of hope, and if it's a good thing, and if the plan is the plan that God has for your life, so this future is looking good and prosperous. Yes, indeed. Honey, let me tell you something. Sometimes people look like, oh, the change is going to come and the money and the money and the money and the money. It's not always about the money. It's about the impact that you make. You have to be blessed in order to be a blessing. That was the sermon today. And so when God brings you out of a lost state and you are willing to allow him to carry you through the process, he is building you. He is fortifying you to be blessed so that we can then be a blessing. That's always been my prayer. It's never about, ooh, give it to me, give it to me, give it to me, give me, 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 me. Servants don't think that way. King's kids don't think that way. We have a job to do. And our job is to come forth serving God and his servants and his kingdom. We are supposed to be kingdom builders. And when you are a kingdom builder, you are thinking more than of yourself. Now, we must think of ourselves because we need God to bless us. We need those blessings of God. What are you going to do with the blessings when he gives them to you? That's the question. When you come out of that lost state, what you going to do? Who you going to serve? Who you going to bless? Who you going to pull up and bring with you? Who? Who? That's the way we think about our journey out of darkness, out of our lost state. Some of us have had seasons of being lost. Been in it for a long time. But when you've suffered long enough, when you've decided to give that over to God, when you've decided to allow God to know, I've been lost. I have not known where I was for so long. Now I need you to bring me out of this lost state. I've tried and I can't. Tried and I can't. It's on you. You got it. You got it. You got it, Father. You got it. And that's how I feel right now. I have been the lost. And so have you. How do we recover? I thank God for his word. And I thank him for his blessings. And I thank him for carrying us through this 21-day fast. I thank him for all of the things that we were able to lay on the altar and trust him for. And remember, if you laid them on the altar during this fast, don't go back and touch that. Leave that alone. If you laid it down, leave it there. Don't go back into Egypt for help. Don't go back meddling into the mess. Leave it there. Don't go back trying to fix your if you laid your family on the altar, leave them there. If you left your marriage on the altar, leave it there. You left, your broken friendships and things like, if you left that on the altar, leave it there. If you left the problems on the job, leave it there. If your ministry is what you laid on the altar, they're right there. Let God work those things out for you. Yes. In the season of being lost, when he finds you, when you see him bringing you towards his light, just follow his voice, hear his instruction, and say yes. Say yes. The scripture today that we have is in Mark 16 and 15. And he said to them, Go into the world and preach the gospel to every creature. Yes, indeed. Every creature. It's a whole lot of lost creatures out there, y'all. And we have been commissioned to go out the highways and the hedges and compel men to Christ. We have been commissioned to go and help save the lost. That's our job. That is our calling. To each believer, there is a responsibility. Your life should be something that the lost look at and say, I want to be like that. I want what they have. No, in fact, I need what they have. Let me go and ask them. I'm grateful. I am so grateful. Let us pray. Lord, here I am. Send me. Use me. Witness through me. There's a field in my home. There is a field in my neighborhood. There is a field on my job. There is a field in this city. There is a field in my family. Oh God, forgive me for not praying. Forgive me for not witnessing. Forgive me for not really believing that I can reap a harvest. You. Forgive me for not believing that you can use my influence, my affluence, everything that I have to reach the lost for your glory right here where I am. Father, I ask for you to use me as a light to a dark, dying world. I give you glory and I give you praise for all you will do through me. Yes, you will do through me. We're vessels. We should want to be used by him, not just be saved and satisfied. I'm not satisfied with just being saved. That's not how he built me. I am built for this journey. You are built for this journey. If he calls you, he will qualify you. He will certify you. And he will not deny you. I want to be of his service. I need to be. I can't function if I'm not of service. The lost are depending on you. The lost are needing you. The lost was once you. I needed that to resonate with you. 21 days. And here we are ending with what our commission from God is to be the light. Is to use your influence, use your affluence. And you don't have to look far. There is a field right in your home, right in your family, right in your neighborhood, on your job. There's plenty of places where be of service to the lost. This is the 21st day of the fast, but this is your last time seeing me. God is going to instruct me and I will be seeing you very, very soon, right? And if you have been blessed by this, and if you would like to have me put together a sheet for you of all of the scriptures for prayer fast, please let me know and give me, inbox me your email address, and I will make, lead and guide me to put something together to offer you. So I thank you so very much. I love you so very much. And we did it. God is good, God is faithful, and you are amazing, says the Wealth Tattletale. And you better go and run tell that. Bye.